Australia and Canada, two vast nations with rich histories, stunning landscapes, and a shared legacy as former British colonies. Both are proud members of the Commonwealth, facing unique geographical challenges that have shaped their societies. But when it comes to living standards, innovation, and immigration, which country truly stands out? Welcome to today's video, where we compare two incredible nations, Australia and Canada. From their breathtaking natural wonders to thriving economies, these countries have much in common, yet so much sets them apart. We'll dive into the geography that defines their landscapes, explore their economic powerhouses and key industries, and uncover what makes them leaders in innovation. If you're considering immigration or curious about their quality of life, stick around. We've got all the insights you need. Whether you're looking for a fresh start, planning your next adventure, or just love learning about fascinating global comparisons, this video will give you a comprehensive look at Australia versus Canada. So, let's jump right in. Geography and population distribution. Both Australia and Canada are known for their immense size and relatively small populations, creating unique challenges and opportunities for development. These two nations are among the largest countries in the world. Canada ranks second, while Australia is sixth. Yet, despite their size, their populations are relatively sparse compared to their landmass. Canada, with its 38 million residents, has the majority of its population living close to the United States border. In fact, over 80% of Canadians reside within 100 miles of the border, primarily due to the harsh climate in its northern regions. The southern parts of the country, particularly around cities like Toronto, Vancouver, and Montreal, offer more temperate weather and economic opportunities, making them hubs of activity. The Northern Territories, while rich in natural resources, remain largely untouched and sparsely inhabited. Australia, on the other hand, has a population of approximately 26 million people, most of whom live along its stunning coastlines. Cities like Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane are vibrant urban centers where the majority of Australians reside. This is largely due to the arid and semi-arid conditions that dominate the country's interior, often referred to as the outback. Unlike Canada, where proximity to trade partners like the US drives population distribution, Australia's coastal lifestyle is shaped by its geography, offering access to beaches, ports, and temperate climates. Both nations showcase a fascinating relationship between geography and population. While Canada's vast wilderness and icy terrains push its citizens southward, Australia's harsh interior does the same, creating dynamic urban hubs near its coastlines. These patterns highlight how geography continues to influence human settlement and development in these two countries. Historical and modern resource booms. Australia and Canada have both experienced transformative resource booms that shape their economies and global identities, but their journeys reflect different historical and modern contexts. In Australia, the gold rush of the late 1800s was a pivotal moment, drawing immigrants from around the world and rapidly expanding the population and economy. This influx of wealth and labor helped establish key cities like Melbourne and Sydney as economic powerhouses. Fast forward to modern times, and Australia's resource wealth shifted focus to its abundant deposits of iron ore, coal, and natural gas. The mining boom of the 2000s, largely driven by China's insatiable demand for raw materials, fueled unprecedented economic growth. However, this reliance on commodities has left Australia vulnerable to fluctuating global prices, creating challenges during downturns in demand. While mining remains a cornerstone of Australia's economy, the push toward diversifying industries and embracing renewable energy sources is growing. Canada, meanwhile, had its first resource boom with the discovery of oil in the 1850s, particularly in Ontario. This early boom laid the groundwork for Canada's long-standing position as a major energy exporter. In modern times, Canada's focus has shifted to its oil sands projects in Alberta, which holds some of the largest reserves in the world. However, the environmental and economic challenges of extracting oil from these sands, combined with declining global oil prices and the rise of renewable energy, have pressured Canada to rethink its resource strategies. While oil remains a key driver of the economy, Canada is also investing in cleaner technologies and sustainable industries. Both nations have built their economies on the back of resource wealth, but the modern era is pushing them toward adaptability. As global priorities shift toward sustainability and technological innovation, Australia and Canada are navigating the complexities of resource dependency while preparing for a more diversified and resilient future. Business and market dynamics. When it comes to business and market dynamics, Australia and Canada share striking similarities in their economic structures, with both nations dominated by a handful of powerful companies in critical industries. Australia is home to Macquarie Group, an infrastructure and investment banking giant that has established itself as a global player in asset management and infrastructure investments. Similarly, Canada's Brookfield Asset Management is a leader in the global real estate and renewable energy sectors. These two firms highlight the importance of infrastructure and resource-driven investments in the economies of both nations, showcasing their ability to compete on a global scale despite their smaller domestic grocery sector. Both countries exhibit high levels of market concentration, with a few dominant players controlling the majority of the market. In Australia, companies like Woolworths and Coles dominate, while in Canada, Loblaws and Sobeys hold similar sway. This concentration results in limited competition, impacting pricing and consumer choice, and sometimes sparking concerns over affordability and innovation in the retail sector. The banking industries in both nations also follow a similar pattern, with a small number of institutions holding a large share of the market. Australia's Big Four banks, Commonwealth Bank, ANZ, Westpac and NAB, and Canada's Big Five banks, RBC, TD, Scotiabank, BMO, and CIBC, exercise significant influence over their respective economies. This dominance creates stability, but has also drawn criticism for limiting competition and innovation compared to countries with more fragmented banking systems. The aviation and telecom sectors in Australia and Canada are also concentrated, with a few companies like Qantas and Telstra in Australia and Air Canada and Rogers in Canada dominating the markets. These sectors face challenges in improving affordability and service quality due to limited competition, which contrasts sharply with markets like the US and Europe, where deregulation and competition have driven innovation. Despite their domestic strengths, both Australia and Canada often struggle to compete with the global powerhouses of the US and China, whose companies lead in technology, manufacturing, and consumer markets. This disparity underlines the importance of fostering innovation and diversifying industries to ensure economic resilience in an increasingly competitive global landscape. Strengths in commodities. Both Australia and Canada are economic powerhouses in the global commodities market, with their vast natural resources playing a pivotal role in their economies. Australia is a leading global producer of essential minerals, including coal, iron ore, lithium, and rare earth minerals, which are critical to industries such as energy production, manufacturing, and the burgeoning electric vehicle sector. Australia's mining sector is particularly significant due to its role in supplying the rapidly growing demand for lithium and rare earth minerals, which are essential for the production of batteries and high-tech devices. Canada, on the other hand, boasts the fourth largest proven oil reserves in the world, largely concentrated in the oil sands of Alberta. Additionally, Canada is a significant exporter of natural gas and coal, with its energy exports making up a large portion of the nation's overall export market. While Canada benefits from strong ties to its largest trading partner, the United States, Australia's reliance on China as its primary trading partner, particularly in commodities like coal and iron ore, has brought both opportunities and risks. For instance, trade tensions with China can create economic uncertainty for Australia, while Canada's reliance on U.S. demand for energy and natural resources has made it highly susceptible to shifts in U.S. energy policy. Challenges and the resource curse. While both Australia and Canada are rich in natural resources, this abundance presents challenges that are often tied to the phenomenon known as the resource curse. This term refers to the paradox where countries with vast natural resources often struggle to diversify their economies and develop other sectors such as technology, innovation, and manufacturing. Both Australia and Canada rely heavily on the extraction and export of natural resources, which makes them vulnerable to fluctuations in global commodity prices. This dependency can undermine long-term economic stability and prevent the growth of other industries that could provide a more diversified, resilient economy. A direct consequence of this reliance on natural resources is the limited industrial diversification in both nations. While both Australia and Canada have made significant strides in certain sectors like financial services and real estate, their economies are still heavily tied to natural resource extraction. Additionally, despite their wealth and resources, both countries face challenges in nurturing globally recognized high-tech companies. In industries such as technology, Silicon Valley in the US and Shenzhen in China dominate the global landscape, leaving little room for Australian or Canadian firms to compete on the same level. Furthermore, both countries have low innovation rates, with patents and R&D spending well below the average of other OECD nations. This lack of investment in research and development restricts the growth of new industries and limits the potential for both countries to transition to high-tech, knowledge-based economies. While Australia and Canada have substantial research institutions and universities, their industrial sectors struggle to translate academic innovations into commercially successful products and services. This issue, combined with an over-reliance on commodities, underscores the need for both nations to focus on diversifying their economies and fostering innovation to secure a prosperous future. Housing markets and affordability. Both Australia and Canada have witnessed significant housing market challenges in recent years, with house prices soaring well beyond the reach of many citizens' disposable incomes. The divergence between house prices and disposable incomes has become a major issue, making housing affordability a critical concern in both countries. In Australia, cities like Sydney and Melbourne are among the most expensive in the world, with home prices that are out of reach for many middle-income families. Similarly, in Canada, cities such as Vancouver and Toronto have seen explosive growth in real estate prices, driven by factors like foreign investment, low interest rates, and a growing demand for urban housing. This phenomenon of housing affordability challenges in both countries mirrors trends seen in other wealthy nations, including the United States, where similar issues have emerged, particularly in cities like San Francisco and New York. However, the issue in Australia and Canada is particularly pronounced, as both nations have high levels of foreign investment in real estate, further driving up prices. Moreover, with both countries being geographically vast, yet sparsely populated in many regions, the high demand for housing in urban centers has exacerbated homebuyers. The dream of homeownership is becoming increasingly difficult to achieve, leading to frustrations about the growing wealth gap between property owners and renters. Productivity and living standards. Despite these housing market challenges, Australia has managed to maintain a strong edge in terms of productivity and income growth compared to other advanced economies, including Canada. Australia's workforce has become increasingly productive, particularly in industries such as mining, agriculture, and services. This growth has contributed to a consistent rise in living standards, with Australians experiencing long-term benefits from increasing wages, improved healthcare access, and a generally higher quality of life. When it comes to income per capita, Australia outperforms Canada by a notable margin, with Australians earning an average of $63,000 per year compared to Canada's $58,000. This gap in earnings reflects Australia's superior performance in raising living standards over the past few decades. The country has benefited from stable economic growth, a relatively low unemployment rate, and a high level of government investment in infrastructure and public services. This investment in both public and private sectors has ensured that Australians can enjoy rising wages, better access to education, and an overall higher standard of living. While Canada has also seen positive growth in income levels and productivity, it has faced challenges in certain sectors. For instance, the country's dependency on natural resource extraction has limited its ability to foster high-tech industries or diversify its economy as effectively as Australia. As a result, Canada's long-term growth in living standards has not been as strong as Australia's, particularly when factoring in the impact of fluctuating commodity prices. However, both countries continue to maintain a high standard of living compared to global averages, with excellent healthcare, education, and social services available to citizens. Conclusion. In conclusion, while Australia and Canada share many similarities, such as their British colonial heritage, Commonwealth membership, and vast landscapes, they also face distinct challenges and opportunities on the global stage. Both nations have built strong economies based on their rich natural resources, but they also face the ongoing struggle of economic reliance on these resources, limiting their diversification into high-tech and innovative industries. Australia has an edge in productivity and income growth, while Canada has a stronger presence in energy production and natural resource exports. As both nations move forward, their ability to adapt to changing global trends, such as the shift toward renewable energy, the impact of global trade policies, and the need for technological innovation, will be pivotal in determining their future success. While Australia is showing strong economic resilience, particularly in its mining and agricultural sectors, Canada's continued reliance on oil and gas extraction, particularly in the form of oil sands, will need to evolve if the nation hopes to remain competitive in a rapidly changing world. Now, we want to hear from you. Which country, Australia or Canada, do you think is better poised for future success? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's get the conversation started. Thanks for watching. If you found this comparison insightful, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with your friends. Check out our other videos where we dive into more global comparisons and economic insights. See you in the next one.